deal with that. But
Oh boy.
Okay, I think we're past starting time. Just to let everybody in the room know, last year the legislature passed some code that we have to stream all of our board meetings. So we are streaming tonight's meeting on YouTube, and so the audio goes out. So just to let you know. And with that, I think we'll open the meeting.
All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and call the special meeting of the Wayne County Board of Education to order. It is 4:05, and if you'll stand, we'll say the pledge. That's all right. We'll let you lead.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the record show that all board members are present in person this evening. And we will begin with our local school improvement council presentation from Kellogg Elementary.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'd just like to welcome everyone here. And Mr. Salmons will actually be the one doing our presentation this evening. However, what a wonderful LSIC. I have to bring up my LSIC because they have really gotten behind this project. They are at every meeting that I ask them to come for. They are such a strong LSIC. And there's nothing like having your community, your parents, all of your stakeholders present to collaborate to come up with some great ideas to make Kellogg the best school it can be. I would feel awful if I did not thank each one of our board members for the wonderful support that we had with our Blue Ribbon. And Kellogg is a Blue Ribbon Award winner, 2024 winner of the National Blue Ribbon Schools. And we couldn't have done that without your help and your guidance and the things that you provided us to help us along that way and to help us achieve things like a fantastic superintendent. The support staff that we can pull from on a daily basis. I got off the phone with Nikki Stephanie less than an hour ago. My teacher's back here in the back. We kind of called her on a team call to ask some advice from her. So these people that are in place, Jason Cox came to our last LSIC meeting to explain to our LSIC some questions that they had. And those people help us to be the best school we can be. And so thank you, board. You all, that is an award just as strong for you as it is for us, and we're very, very proud of that. Not to mention our teachers and our staff and the people that make Kellogg who they are. And so please share with us in rejoicing that wonderful, wonderful opportunity. Now, Mr. Salmons, our assistant principal, of course I'm retiring, you all approved that a couple weeks ago. Mr. Salmons is here to make this presentation this evening, and our school and our staff certainly have the utmost respect for him and what he brings to our school and community as well. He's a wonderful, wonderful leader. So, Mr. Salmons,
thank you.
You ready?
Thank you. Our LSIC member, we have the Perry family here, the Rash family, Ms. Wilfong Knight, and Tracy Bugman is not here with us. I think she might be coming late, but it's a solid committee, really community involved, and it's the best community involvement I've seen with our LSIC since I've been here. So we're thankful for them. We'll start off talking about our enrollment data. Of course, we've been declining. Several factors, of course, are part of that. The economy, obviously. We don't have a pre-K here. We know we some students start in other schools at pre-Ks from our community, and we won't belabor that point. We know we do lose some students from that, but the community in general has lost population. With that being said, we are a Title I school. Our social and economic, our low SES is 66%. Our special ed population is 30%. With that being said, I think that speaks volumes for this school and community. The success that you'll see in our data that's consistent shows how strong this school is, how strong the community is, even though we nationally, when we see Title I schools and low SES, we expect education not to be strong all the time. It's very solid here. The staff, when they get here, stay here. If at all possible, they don't miss work. You'll see if their attendance data, our kids don't miss work, again, or school. Again, that attests to the family dynamics and the staff here that really promotes student engagement and success. We'll get into some data now. This is STAR. We use STAR in this county. Not every county does that. But this is how we gauge some things here. This is our early literacy data for kindergarten and first grade. It's not always accurate. When you get kindergarten kids coming to school for the first time, their reading, their literacy proficiency is not always accurate. That evolves. So we don't belabor too much on the early kindergarten era, but as we progress through, let's look at more of our second grade through fifth grade numbers. This is for reading off our STAR data. Let's look down here at our overall score first. Our winter benchmark from the fall went 52%. The district's at 39%. That's exceptional for a winter benchmark in reading. And to break that down even more, our fall benchmark for the school is higher than the district's winter benchmark. Again, that's a testament to the staff here, support service, personnel, and teachers. Second, we had some outliers here that are exceptional too. Second grade went from 29 to 49% from the fall to winter, 20% jump. And fifth grade here at 55%. We're shooting for above 60 for the end of the year, and we're already halfway through the year. They're pushing, some of these grades are pushing that already. So those are strong numbers. Some things we do here that are outside of the curriculum. AR, I know some grades, second grade, for example, every week they will switch. Miss Diamond and Miss Brubeck will alternate kids. Miss Brubeck will take some of the higher achieving students who are flourishing in writing and challenge them more. Miss Diamond works with kids who are need to work on some skills. So some things that we don't require here that they're just kind of naturally doing. We've also started Saxon phonics, and I think we will see continued growth of reading. We started that just the second year. So I think after next year, when kindergarten, first, and second grade have all had that, we will really see, as we move forward, our reading levels go up. And math skills, which are already very strong. And as you know, with math, there's a lot of reading involved too. So Saxon, I think, will be a big component. Maybe not even next year, but after that, we should really start seeing the results of reading improve. And this is more individual data for individual students. Second grade, you can look from fall to winter up over 30%. All levels improved. Fourth grade's kind of, not exceptional, but still some improvement. And fifth grade up to 54%. Let's get into the math data. This is where we really shine, I think. And just look at these numbers. Overall, from fall to winter, we went from 46 to 59%. Counties at 41%. We're well above that. Again, the community dynamics statistically for the poverty rate of this community shows how solid the family component is here and how strong this staff is. That statistically shouldn't be anywhere close to that. All things being a wonderful, wonderful school environment. What are we doing here with math? Well, we have interventionists. Being a Title I school, we have 2 interventionists. We have solid teachers, but they work well with our interventionists, our special ed department. We teach grade level standards to all students. Without interventionists, we would not have the kids qualifying for special ed services. That's very important. Kids wouldn't get the services they need because we wouldn't have the time, or we wouldn't be able to get them serviced and tested and identified, all that process. So those ladies work very hard getting those kids the data for testing making sure everything's in order. These numbers would not be this way if we didn't have that support. Our special, like we said, data or the rigor with special ed and interventions, they teach grade level standards to everybody. And that's what really closes the gap. And you mentioned the Blue Ribbon School, our special ed population is always at the top of the state, near the top. And that's what really gets the kids in the middle and the low special needs students, really, the gap closes here, where it doesn't in other schools. Look at some more of this data here. 72%. I mean, that's what we're hoping to get at the end of the year. And that in fourth grade has reached that in the winter. That's incredible. You know, we're pushing for 60%. Obviously, anything over that's extra. Fifth grade's already at 61% in the winter. That's very strong, very strong. We've adopted as a county Carnegie curriculum, and our teachers really seem to grasp it. I think the more that you do it, you're grasping it more. But I haven't heard, you know, you hear different curriculums coming every few years, and here's something else we're doing, and that'll go away. That's always, this is my 17th year, you always hear that. I don't hear that with Carnegie like I have other curriculums. And when I've been in classrooms, the amount of detail in these math lessons, I can't do it. In a third grade class, I can't do it. In fourth grade, I was trying to talk to Shannon Green one day about something. And I kept walking by throughout the day. I didn't want to interrupt, so I'll come back later. I didn't want to interrupt later because she was still. And I finally walked in, and kids, and this is consistent in classrooms. Kids will be grouped, 5 different groups or whatever, and they're talking, explaining their math work to each other, and they're debating it. No, that's not right. It's incredible to listen to these conversations. And the teacher acts as a facilitator. And that's the way we always hear that it should happen, and it really does happen that way here. I heard the other day, a guy from Carnegie was here, that fifth grade has a standard where they break down a base 5 math system. That's just to understand math more concretely. Base 10 is what we learn. We're base 60, and they're learning a base 5 system in fifth grade. So it's incredible. And our staff members work well with the Carnegie people. They're here a lot. Carnegie's here in the building a lot. And our teachers do lead PD sessions with Carnegie curriculum too. So they're involved with it. It's not just an outside agency coming in, telling us, here's how we do it. Our staff's involved with it too. So there's a lot of buy-in. So all those factors, I think, contribute to our math success. And here's the state benchmark data. So here's what every school in the state takes and is evaluated on. Third grade, here's for reading or ELA. So you can see the third grade, the state's at 19% or 29%. In winter, we're at 41, and the district's at 28, so we're above the state. And district, well above the state. In third grade ELA. Math, third grade, again, we're at 36% in the winter, 30% growth. The state's at 29, the district's at 27, so we're well above there. We're reading math in third grade. Fourth grade reading, we want to see some improvement there, but we still had 13% growth for fall and winter in ELA, and we're right there in line with the state in ELA. And fourth grade math, again, math, it always shines here. Fourth grade, 52% in the winter, the state's at 28%. So we're almost doubling the state. That's incredible numbers. And the district at 33%. So, statistically, things should be against us, and we're just shining here. Fifth grade, same thing, ELA. Winter, our last benchmark at 51%, states at 37, counties at 40. Again, when you start off higher, the percentage growth is not maybe as high, but we're starting out quite a bit higher. So, you know, if you're starting near the top, then you can't always grow as much. Math scores again, 5th grade, blowing it out of the water. States at 23% in the winter, we're at 55%. Double. That's incredible numbers for math. And the county is 26. So our teachers and support staff here are doing their jobs, and the community's doing their part. This is a great school to work at. Science is our weak spot. We only test one grade in grade school with science. It's, you know, and it builds upon other grades. So we're not only evaluated on 5th grade standards. We're at 38%, the district at 35, the state's at 30 in the winter. Of course, we want to be higher there. We do focus on math and reading, and we have work to do on science. But that has improved from where we've been, but we want to see that improve more. Our trend data, again, when you're scoring high, 2 years ago we were 73% in math, 62 in reading. We went down a little bit last year, still good numbers, but we want to see this trend upward again this year. We're on track, it looks like, for it to trend back upward. And that's our data as far as academics. And I directly, myself and Gidget and Jill May, we work with attendance, and Ms. Hutchinson does as well. When Ms. Hutchinson became principal, this has been 3 years ago, I believe. It's when I started here. Our chronically absent students were 26%. Last year they were at 18%. That's a big drop. We want to see that under 20%. And this year we're in line with that with our chronically absent, 17, 18%. It's hard to improve a lot more than that. Of course, we have things in place to work on that. There's always outliers to that. When I make this slide, we were 93.8% average attendance rate. It's hard to beat that. We shoot for 93% as a lofty goal. We're above that now, so we want to be there at the end of the year. We should be able to meet that. Chronic absenteeism 17, 18%. Again, under 20% solid. Again, the families here, I'm at the parent drop-off line in the mornings, as Tonkin is. Parents are dropping their kids off before they go to work. When you have community members who work, their kids tend to follow that too. So even though we have low socioeconomic status, one of our parents work, they're dropping their kids off, the other kids are on the bus, so it starts there at home. Our teachers don't miss work. Our staff members don't miss work. And when their kids miss work or miss school, they're putting pressure on them. Ask them, where are you? And they don't want to miss, because we don't have instant problems in classrooms because kids are working all the time and they're enjoying it. So they want to be here with teachers and staff members being here every day. They set a good example. We also make phone calls home. Gidget calls home every day to kids who are not here. I don't do it as efficiently as she does, but if the kid's missing multiple days and we need to find out, I make those phone calls, and we work with the social worker. Please keep funding those positions. It really puts pressure on parents when their kids need to be here and the parents are not doing their part. When they're asking 5 days and then 10 days, they get letters of unexcused absences, and basically it's a wake-up call to them. So we work well with Misty Lambert at Vinson. She works with us too. So we communicate well to get these parents a wake-up call, get their kids to school. Something new this year, we started here, the county's pushing it, Terry Lynn Queen's pushing it, and it's a good idea. I need to improve with these, but we started doing SATs, opening SAT, student assistant team files for attendance. We've not done that till this year. So normally you see that when the kids need some extra support in math and reading. So we're doing this for attendance as well. So what we're doing is contacting parents, setting up meetings, getting them in the building, and some of those don't come in, a lot of them are phone calls. We still have those meetings. Here's some information, some literature for you to help you get your kid to school. Here's statistics. If your kid misses, here's how far they fall behind. So it kind of wakes some of these people up, but it's a step in the right direction. Students who already have SAT files open for academic reasons, we go ahead and add an attendance goal. We do 9-week celebrations for perfect attendance. Some of that's extra playtime, it's a movie day, whatever the case may be. I don't know that it's an incentive for kids to go, because a lot of these kids want to be here anyway, but they should be rewarded even if it's not an incentive. They need to be appreciated for being here. So we do those things. And something new, I don't think we did this last year. Jill May with Community Schools, they started weekly drawings for perfect attendance through March. Some of the classroom teachers are doing their own thing on top of that too. So trying to get kids here, especially as we're getting near test time in the year, we need to make sure they're here. Of course, we've missed a lot of school, so they need to be in the classroom as much as possible. So we're doing a lot with attendance interventions, and our attendance rate's at 94%. It's realistically near impossible to beat that. Trying, but that's very high.
Josh, how many students do you all have?
292, and then with the pre-K up here, 334. 334. So three the official number.
Building.
Yeah, 334 official. 334 with pre-K. Our discipline has improved here. This, before I was here, I don't know what it was. I know it's improved in the numbers that we've calculated in the past 3 years. Other schools, this might look worse than other schools, but we document a lot here in completeness. This is official data. Not all elementary students, I know that. And it's not wrong not to do it or to do it. It helps me. And I know I was at the high school, if you see a kid getting in trouble, it's nice to refer back. Similar things happen in grade school. And sometimes it was. So this is official state data. We've not had a whole lot of discipline this year. These are total incidents. So 39 incidents of detention, 3 in-school suspensions. That's a little higher than we want it to be. 3 of those happened in 1 week, 2 weeks ago. So until then, we didn't have much at all.
Yeah.
And Jamie Briggs, one of the special ed teachers here last year, come March, and said, we're having some discipline problems. It's March Madness. It happens every March. And it really does. And it hits like March 1st. They've been cooped up inside for the winter, and they just, and all these were minor things, very minor things. Nothing to say school issues or anything like that. But it's more than that. We contact parents frequently. That's the best way to curb behaviors, especially when they're young, when you can do more with kids when they're young. Parents are almost always supportive. Some don't believe their kid can do anything wrong, but that's rare. Most people are very supportive, and so we have wonderful parents here. Again, relationship building is the key for us, and I love working with the parents here. Things you've done for us in recent years. Of course, 2 years ago, you gave us flooring throughout the building, replaced carpet. Thank you so much for that. This year, you paid to paint our gymnasium outside and inside. Desperately needed. Gravel on the playground. We had terrible drainage here, so Mr. Alexander and I have spoke about that multiple times, and you all too. Water would just stand on there, and it could be sunny for 3 days, and kids couldn't play on the playground because the water was awful. Now there's 9 inches of gravel there, no standing water ever, and it's just wonderful. Kids can play there all the time, and I think it has contributed to less accidents, kids getting hurt, because it's so deep, they can't run full speed and not see their buddy coming and hit their head. So we're rarely having incidents out there like we did before. So thank you so much for that, and it looks nice. It's just better. It's better. We're Blue Ribbon School for all the reasons we talked about, and you have paid for our banners, the one out front, and you paid for the one parent drop off. You can't see that without driving around. But it's hanging out on the fence, and you've also paid for Miss Hudson, her husband to go.
Yeah. He just had to be there.
He was in the car.
Okay. And Ms. McCoy, and so it's a lovely celebration in Washington DC for that. So thank you so much for what you've done for us, and you've always been very accommodating. And we know that money's not what it used to be, and we understand those things, but we still ask for things. But here are some, here's what we have the funding for this already approved. According to my part, spoke to him a few weeks ago. Been a big concern for us out front because we don't have schools on designation. Very dangerous. Or don't notice that's a school. They really don't. And so we need flashing lights out there. My part told me, assured me that has already been purchased. I don't know who we contracted or whatever. It's just a matter of them putting them in play, installing them. So all we're asking for is just somebody can follow up with that. I follow up with Mike too. We certainly don't want that not in place next school year when we've already.
You gotta feel they're needed, especially since they've got them up at Marshall when those kids are supposed to be adults.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
They're
it
still
really
big kids.
gets your attention when you see those lights in the morning and evening. So we definitely need it, and it's already been paid for from what I've been told. So we just, if you could help follow up with that, we'd appreciate that. Make sure we get that done. Installed. Water bottle station. Ms. Hutchinson contacted Matt Stanley, and we are to get one of these installed. It's already in the works. We had it in the warehouse apparently. Noah Thompson, Noah Thompson, yeah, came down and measured for it probably 2 weeks ago, maybe 3, and we don't know what's happening. So please follow up. Apparently it's here. We just need to get it put in there. It's already paid for. So please do what you can for us there. So thank you so much for what you've given to us. We really appreciate it, and we hate to ask, but we will. And I know we brought this up in multiple years, and Jason Cox did come down and meet with the LSIC. And I know there's red tape, and I don't understand all of it. We do have room here. Our rooms are adequate sizes for preschool rooms. And of course, we'll have to do something with the playground and those things, but we lose kids without question. Specifically to CK, we know we do, and other places I'm sure too. We've lost staffing this year, and really, when we lose staffing, our class size, when we lose kids, our class sizes actually go up because we lose staffing. If we get, because we're right on the border of needing that, of having to have that extra teacher. So when we lose kids, our class sizes go up. If we can retain some of these kids, we're going to reduce class sizes. And if they're just going to CK, there's still a teacher down there that the county's paying. So we're not really, maybe not necessarily increasing the budget. We're just keeping a teacher here instead of another in-county school. If we in those situations, but we desperately need that, and I know you're concerned about it, but we need it. And would anybody here want to speak on that? You're welcome to. Or LSIC, any parent, you're welcome to.
Well, I'm happy to speak on that behalf. I mean, this is a wonderful school, but my girls went to this school, the teachers are excellent. It is documented that if you have a preschool K in an actual school, the students actually do better when they go kindergarten through 5th grade, especially going into kindergarten. If it's in a, like, I'm not opposed to where it is, but if it's in a building that is not the actual school that they're going to, then they have to transition from that building to a school building, and that makes their kindergarten year actually more difficult. But if they were in the actual school building that they were going to go to, then they transition better. And the gentleman that came and presented to us last time, he even backed that up in the statistics. And then he had some good points that even if it is in the school, the preschool teacher can have lunches in their classroom and different things in their rooms first. And as the year goes on, progressive interview, let them learn about the cafeteria and the school rules and stuff. It just goes better. I do think it'd be better for our teachers. We are losing good teachers here at Kellogg. We are losing great staff. that I feel like if we had a pre-K in this room, then our numbers would be up. And I'm not opposed to CK and then having preschool or kindergarten programs, but I feel like this school deserves one too. And it has room, and there are bathrooms. We learned some of the things we had to have. We really meet most of the requirements. The playground is an issue, but if you're not paying out money for another building, we could have some money to update that playground so that we could have that preschool on site. It's a really valuable thing that the school needs.
I agree. We all agree with that.
Yeah, I think you're preaching to the choir.
Right.
Yeah.
Getting it done.
The logistics of it all.
I mean, I just think that, you know, the transition from pre-K to kindergarten, how much further along those kids will be, that the kindergarten teachers won't have to readjust those students.
Right.
I mean.
Already building to get familiar with the
They're already
staff
there, they're
here.
ready to go, you know, that first 4 weeks of school would be dedicated to learning instead of procedures and where this is, where that is. I mean, that's a huge jump start.
And as a parent, you definitely want to send your students to the same place they were at pre-K. So, you know, I think that does cause some of the enrollment issues, because if they went to preschool down the road, then why am I going to move my kid back down here for kindergarten, even though they're just equally wonderful schools?
They've already established their spot.
And I don't blame them. I
Where
wouldn't want to move them back
friendships
either.
are. I mean,
So,
it's-
yeah, and it's hard. So.
So that's obviously our primary goal, is to see a pre-K here. A safety issue and a convenience issue, and I'll get to that too. I literally have that many keys, I think. So if we have an emergency, we know this was the case, I believe it was Uvalde shooting, emergency responders showed up and couldn't get where they needed to because the custodian didn't have a proper key because he had so many keys, so that they couldn't get where they needed to be. I'm afraid we would run into that. You know, is it expensive on the front end? Yes. But if we had a master key getting to these classrooms, 1 or 2 keys versus 15, it's certainly safer. We know it's safer. But from a convenience standpoint, our special ed teachers, oftentimes they are going to classrooms to get kids out of rooms and are having to interrupt class knocking on the doors. Speech, interventions.
Yes.
So there's, and me. So me, interventionist, special ed teacher, there's 4 times the classes get interrupted by knocking because they don't have key to all these rooms. So it's interrupting learning, and it's certainly, foremost it's a safety issue, but it's certainly, it is inconvenient and interrupts learning. Please consider helping us change locks out here and getting a master key for these rooms. Somebody said at one of the schools they worked at, it literally was brought up that teachers were complaining because other staff members were stealing their food out of their own classroom. I don't think we'd have that problem. I said it kind of be funny, but I couldn't believe it. That was actually, it had to be brought up in a faculty meeting. And Raleigh Rash brought this up, and as much as we stood out in the rain, I never thought of it. So, and the prices vary. I know we would have, I think I'd have to get 3 quotes to make this legal. But the canopy on the dropout, this is something that we've never asked for. Like I said, Robbie Rash brought it up. But on the parent drop off and pick up for kids in the morning and dropped off, pick up meal. In inclement weather, they're stepping right out into the weather. They do fall sometimes, even though we try to keep it dry inside. They're still sliding when they get in the door. Some of them are, you know, your kids are running trying to get it. So, you know, it is a safety thing by being wet. Think of it if we had, this is not exactly what it looked like, it's just an example. But it'd be an awning, a canopy, where the kids and the staff could stand under. Parents pull right up, let the kids out into the dry, dry under the canopy. And it would be so much nicer and safer and cleaner. So something we want to look at moving forward is for that to happen. Canopy. Now, this material here I'm looking at, there are other ways of getting around that expense. I mean, you locally West Virginia Steel, and other places have material that we wouldn't have to necessarily go through a company for that. And if maintenance could help with that, the expense wouldn't be what these companies are going to do, from what I know would have to be that expensive. I think we got a quote for $21,000, I think it was, I got it in my office, to buy this from a company. But the material's not that expensive for what they're charging us. But, any help you could give us, perhaps, or match funds, if you could help us out. But it would be very nice for kids and staff to have that. So that's the only additional thing we're asking for that we haven't. You've given us so much. Certainly since I've been here, you've given us almost anything we wanted. Thank you so, and we need it. The flooring especially has been excellent. That old carpet and being out there and the paint, you've just been wonderful to us. So thank you so much.
Well, I don't know if they're aware that we use our leadership team in the morning. So it's not just the kids coming in out of the car, because that would be quick. The leadership team has to stand out there for 45 minutes. So the canopy isn't for the quick movements, only for the quick movements. It's for the kids. And that leadership team is a great learning tool. It's a great learning tool for them.
Yeah, 4th, 5th grade students open the car door, so they're out there in the weather. Of course, they have umbrellas still.
Umbrella plus opening the door and making sure the child gets out safe, so it can't be loose.
But Ms. Rash did go up to WSAC and
Yes,
get
thank
umbrellas
you.
this year. Wow, what a nice, she took our kids up there and WSAC gave us nice, great big golf umbrellas. So we don't have them out there in the driving range, but the awnings would be very, very.
This is after our blue ribbon recognition. Most kids you can see are wearing blue shirts or something that's blue. So we try to make a ribbon as best as possible to get that picture. So thank you for what you've done for us and your continued support. We appreciate it. That's all I have.
Questions, concerns for us?
How many in the room are using the Carnegie curriculum?
I'm excited about it.
Hello? Every hand better be up,
I love it.
It is, after 26 years, it's definitely different, but I'm gonna tell you, it's exciting to see. It really is exciting to see how the approach is different, how the kids receive it different, how they understand it better.
Yeah, and my favorite part is the support that Carnegie, that I'm sure we're paying for a support person. I'm very thankful because he has been here probably once every
Mr.
year.
Jeff.
Has used him a lot.
And
If I'd ever meet
I go to him.
him. This my kid's proud at the same time. I'm like, I'm gonna get him, but and she's like, I remember about him. I'm like, no, you know, not.
But it's very great support and helpful and how to implement everything. And like overall, my students love math and they do look forward to
They
it.
do. The hands-on
So that's
approach
good.
being, having that to look at things. Even approaching like the 3rd grade, this is the first time in 26 years that the program that we're using has incorporated teaching fractions with a ruler and the clock. The very first time that I have ever seen it in a curriculum, ever. Now, granted, we always did that, but actually to have a curriculum that integrates teaching fractions, introducing fractions on a number line, but using a ruler. What better sense is that?
The conversions, the things that I've been seeing just this week, those higher level thinking skills. It's amazing. It really is. And the support has been wonderful. I'm gonna point out Amy Dow, she's going, don't let this woman attack me, but she has the highest 5th grade math scores in the county. Watch her teach, and of course, Miss Lusher is fantastic too. She's our math cadre. Shannon Green's also on math cadre. We have 2. But Amy Dow is, to watch her teach this and get those kids to those higher level thinking skills, that explain component that comes out with that, and we've all learned as teachers that there's nothing quite like having to explain it to someone else. If you really want to learn social studies, get up and teach it, because you're going to learn it real well to be able to explain it to another group of people. And to watch these kids do that is remarkable. And that's coming, 3, 4, and 5. I think we're a little bit more gung-ho at first, then K1 and 2. But K1 and 2 are really coming along. Poor Mrs. Small, one of my first grade teachers, I went in and was the first walkthrough I did of the year. And she came up to me that evening, she said, "You did a walkthrough? That was my very first Carnegie lesson. You did a walkthrough?" And I said, "Well, I wasn't going to do a walkthrough, but I saw what you were doing, and I had to do a walkthrough because it was that higher level thinking skills, and kids were doing things that they'd never done before. They were creating a graph, flipping a little coin or a little thing that had red on one side, yellow on the other side. Then they were graphing out their progress. First day of first grade math, I mean, that's not something that we're used to, but wow, what a difference.
What
I
about,
have a spring LSIC student in my room 2 days a week, and she
Oh, yeah.
she
Great
came
stories.
to me after sitting the first day, and she said, "I know how to multiply and divide fractions, but I have never understood it until today." She said, "I truly get it." And then the next day she came back, she said, "I told my teacher at Spring Valley, you need to give Miss Lusher a math book because I think she could teach. If she could teach the way she does with her kids, then everybody would be able to do all this stuff because she teaches it to where you understand it." Well, I'm doing Carnegie, I'm teaching Carnegie, I'm doing the concrete, the CRA, I'm hands-on, we're explaining, we're doing all those things. And I'm not doing anything any differently than anybody else in the building because I'm following that curriculum, which I wholeheartedly believe in. But she was like, I just want to sit in the math class. She's like, "I already know how to do fifth grade math." But
She was so
I'm now
excited. That young
able
lady was so
to
excited.
understand. I've never understood. She said I could do it, but I didn't know why I was doing it. So I did it. And she was
And that's one of the future educators. That's from Miss Terry Dawn Tanner's class that comes down, and they are in our classrooms. We have 6 of them, 6 seniors right now doing internships with our teachers, and they were so excited. She was so excited. She came down and told me the same thing, and just so excited. And it is working. I think that the Carnegie, that higher level thinking skill, anytime you start a new curriculum, you don't have the background that maybe you need to be as successful as we will be in the future. But this was our first year. You have to start somewhere. And they have to go back sometimes and reteach some skills that maybe will come with those kids as we go up through this system. But we're just really excited. We're excited for the growth. We're excited to see how our final test scores are. I'm expecting big things.
we have anybody first or second grade in here? Are you hearing anything about how the ECATs are working out?
I think that as far as from what I'm heard, I'm down in that little hallway, but they're really grateful for them and helping out with lessons, and especially with the Carnegie, every 3 days there's a re-engage day, and so I know that they're using them to help be an extra station for teachers.
As a parent of I've got a first grader and a fifth grader here, and as a parent of first grade and fifth grade, we both have children in the same grades, having ECAT especially with the larger class sizes, because we are losing kids, reducing teachers, higher class sizes. I think the ECAT is very important because that child gets, or those small groups get a little bit more individual instruction rather than that teacher trying to teach a bunch of 25, 6 and 7 year olds something. They can break it down, and some of those children who need more individual or small group work, that facilitates that. So as a parent, I'm thankful for them.
The ECATs work are in all of our class, our K1s, 2s. They have centers, and so you've got, and they're usually grouped, I always call them like-minded learners. So you'll have a group of students that are like-minded. They have this, same skill sets, let's say. And so with an ECAT, you have 2 that have direct instruction. One will be on a computer, and the other one will have, sometimes it's, today I was watching them and they were forming words with letter tiles. And they had a list of words, they had all these letter tiles and they were going through there, picking out their letter tiles. Sometimes they'll be doing, I think in Mrs. Webster's class, and they have this little fishing game where they will pick it's like on a fishing pole, and they pick this word up and then they read the word and turn it around to their friend. So they've got an activity like that, but you still have 2 tables going with that direct instruction from either the ECAT or the teacher. It's a work of art. And those are the things that kind of contribute to these test scores. That's where we are with that. The other thing that I had to say about these fine people that I've had the privilege of working with for almost the last 10 years is when you say bell to bell, teach bell to bell, it's bell to bell. I called the other day at 2:31 was my timeline. And I thought, well, I should be able to get hold of this teacher now. I want to talk to him. You know, I'm sure the kids are out in the hallway getting ready. And I called, student answered the phone, and then most of them have a student answer the phone because they're instructing or they're working. And I could hear that teacher teaching in the background. And I said, they said, oh, it's Miss Hutchinson. This was, of course, fun. Yeah, Miss McCoy, Miss Hutchinson. And I heard her say, tell her to hold on. She didn't give it all she had. And so they said, can you hold on? And I sure can. You know? So they do go bell to bell. It's a phenomenal place to work. Our happy days, Mr. Sammons and I sometimes will get bogged down in the office, different things. Have to go to meetings, get to go to meetings, I mean, Mr. Alexander. And our happy days are when we are in these classrooms, because then you feel the success. And then you see these people at work that are masters at their trade. And to get in there and watch them, it just fills you with so much joy. And I really don't have a whole lot to do with what they're doing. They were masters before I got here, and they will be masters long after I leave. But to watch them do their work is just, it's so uplifting. So I invite all of you to come anytime, any day. Doesn't matter if it's Friday, Monday, Tuesday, any day in between, and come in and watch these people work. And you too will be filled with this sense of, wow, what I'm doing is really making a difference, because they, it's wonderful. That's probably going to be my biggest regret when I do retire, is not watching them work on a daily basis, because they are phenomenal. But anyway, that's it. Questions, concerns for us? Do you all want to see anything? Do you want to walk around and see our building? Do you want to have questions?
I'll make another comment. Josh went through the data. The data is very impressive. The percent proficiency that you're turning in on those state benchmarks. You got to remember, when you look at those state benchmarks, districts aren't required to do those benchmarks. So when you see the state average, what we found is that the top performing school districts in the state are the ones that take those steps. So when you're coming in above state average, you guys are not only coming in above state average, you're coming in significantly above state average.
That's twice the double.
When you're doing that, it is something special. And as we go through the data of all the schools, there's some bright spots that appear. And this is one of those spots. That's why that National Blue Ribbon Award came. So it's just tremendous what you're doing. It is one of the best elementary schools in the state. There's no doubt about that.
They are, love you guys. And that, again, it's twofold. It's the teachers, the community, you're all support. The level above us, and administration support that comes in and really pitches in to help us and gives us guidance.
When I had shared earlier in the year, and you'll have to remind me what the number was, but we had looked at the achievement results for the special ed population here, and it came in, I want to say 8. Was it higher than that, or was it 8?
I thought it was a little higher than that.
Okay.
I thought it was 6, but maybe it's 8. We'll take 8.
So looking at some national websites that break down the individual states, Kellogg special ed population, I know, was in the top 10 in the state of West Virginia.
And again, that is that collaborative effort from the teachers and our special educators. And our special educators, I have to go back to Mr. Jeff coming into Amanda's room back here, Amanda Lesher's room, and he said, you know, who were those kids that came in? And we said, oh, those are her students, but they came, you know, they were coming from Mr. Rigg's classroom, came in, sat down, and she was, you know, going on with the lesson, and they were right there in discussion, raising their hand. And he said to me, how do they know? They haven't been here for this. How do they know that answer? I said, because they were getting that same scenario in a small group, maybe broken down a little bit more down the hallway in Mr. Rick's classroom, and came back in and were able to pick up in the exact spot that she was. So that collaborative effort between our special educators, our interventionists, is phenomenal. I mean, they are working so diligently on closing gaps. And I look at Ms. Tonkin back there. She takes the students in 3rd, 4th, and 5th that have those learning gaps or are missing something and fills in those edges and brings them along. And gets, you know, it's a beautiful piece of art to watch them work in a day.
Yeah.
So I do invite you all to come. Please be uplifted like we are. It's so rewarding to see them do their thing.
I think what you do is, obviously, it's working, and it's a piece that we've been missing all over the county, you know, in other schools where we haven't made that collaboration yet, but obviously, you figured it out. It's working.
It's working.
And,
It works. And we are a family.
Right.
And that's something that that was my big thing. I stole that from Gary Aikens back when I got started. He called us the Tulsa family back when I first started 30 years ago in this county. And he called us the Tulsa family. So when I came here and I thought, when I get mine in school, I'm supposed to get that off this dragon. We're going to be the Kellogg family. And we are the Kellogg family. And just like all families, at times we say, can you believe she did that? But overall, the love is there, the respect is there, the admiration is there, and we work together as a family for the betterment of our children. And so I think that's the key to our success. Sorry.
Thank you all.
No worries.
We do have one item of business that we need to take care of.
Julie, is that what you're doing?
I'm
All right,
And then our original agenda called for a recess but we postponed Vincent Middle School's LSIC
right.
so we can move down to new business.
Number 1, consider for approval to purchase requisition in excess of $5,000 on pages 1 and 2.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Johnny, second by Randy.
Todd, that's one we pulled the other night, isn't it?
Yeah, this is replacement computers at Sarita Canova Elementary School. Their computers in the building just have outlived their life. Of course, we do those on a rotation basis, so that's the replacement there. And then the other PO, the $16,000 PO, is the replacement of a intercom speaker system at a school that is broken.
Gotcha. All right, any other questions or concerns? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
School
Superintendent
is-
report.
I'll have to double check. It's been a couple weeks since he told me. I can't remember.
Well, we have 2 basketball champions, state champions in the county. I know that's not a report, but it's good news.
Yeah, it's good news.
In case nobody's heard. So,
Ladies at that.
Right.
As a former Bison Timberwolf, I love that.
as a former Wayne Pioneer,
Absolutely.
so do I.
We had our architects in the district today. I had told you that we were going to look at some safe schools entrances for a grant, major improvement project. So we made a visit to Spring Valley, Benson, here at Kellogg, and Tulsa High School today to look at putting together a proposal for a grant for safe school entrances at those locations. That's all I have.
What were the schools again?
It's insane.
Vincent, Kellogg, Spring Valley, and Tulsa.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right. Johnny,
Motion to adjourn.
motion by Johnny, second.
Second.
Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. It is 4:59. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to those that joined us online.
You were Bison first?
Yes, sir.
I wonder if you